Hi everyone, I'm Mabus, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most single important topics in the world today. Forget about freedom of speech, free will, even free choice. I'm of course talking about which of the worlds in Banjo Kazooie are the best. Now in order for us to have a fair discussion about this topic, we're going to have to go through some rules, regulations, and guidelines that we have to follow. Rule number 1, there's 4 games on this list, including Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie, Nuts and Bolts, and Yooka Laylee. Yooka Laylee because, let's face it, it's kind of like Banjo 3. I mean, the evidence is there, just go take a look at it. Rule number 2, there are 35 worlds that I will be including on this list, which I will be dividing into 3 separate videos. And rule number 3, this list is my opinion. And in case you don't know, my opinion is fact. And facts don't care about your feelings.
And there's 2 things you can do about it, absolutely nothing and like it.
With that being said, let's get down into brass tacks, start the show. A good chunk of the worlds at the beginning of this list will be empty, contain very little content, and most likely will be the tutorial worlds. However, I must point out that the Logbox 720 is absolutely none of these things. For a world that is part of the regular gameplay, it shouldn't rank this low on the list, especially since the music is pretty cool and gives off some Grunty's Lair vibes. And even some of the challenges are pretty fun. Or at least they would be if the very map itself didn't get in your way. The lack of operating room in this place just enrages me. If you're not getting the corner of your vehicle caught on every piece of clutter and debris, it's the stupid spinning discs on the floor that throw off your vehicle's trajectory that'll leave you spitting fire. Tack on every piece of blur and fuzz that certain areas of this map throw at you, and it's difficult to see the pluses of this place, leaving the rage-inducing elements to drag the Logbox 720 straight down to the bottom of this list. Banjo Tooie Spiral Mountain. There just isn't enough stuff here to place it over much of the other worlds in these games. There's just a Cheeto page, a Jinjo, and a trapped goldfish. Pretty basic. The 2 stop and swap eggs are a nice touch though. Nuts and Bolts Spiral Mountain, however, is a different take on Bear and Bird's home. This time it's the last world instead of the first, and features the location of the final boss fight. But still suffers from lack of content. Yooka Laylee was a good game, but I feel it has a disadvantage on this list by not having the nostalgia backing of the other games. Maybe it'll climb higher on this list as time goes on and it gets more playthroughs, but until then, Highbury Towers gets the number 32 spot. It's always fun expanding new areas and learning new moves, but much of it just felt too cramped, and I'm just not a fan of those worlds. Towards the end of Highbury Towers was pretty fun though, where it was more open space and the music got more intense the closer you got to capital B, which definitely builds up the hype. It's just so annoying having to see this screen every single time you go through a doorway. You're so right, game. You're so right. Spiral Mountain from Banjo Kazooie is that unfortunate victim. It's unfortunate because it has great nostalgia and is a fantastic tutorial part of the game, with even adding some collectibles in the form of an extra honeycomb slot for your patience. But because of the utter powerhouse worlds of these games, the competition is just insanely high, and forces many beloved worlds down the ladder to spots they, on paper at least, look undeserving of. But let's be honest, in the big picture, is that really such a bad problem to have? Whenever I play through Banjo Kazooie, I hit worlds that I would just rather not play through as much as some of the others. And Bubble Goop Swamp is one of these worlds. Maybe it's because it's gloomy, or maybe it's because you have to go through that goddamn maze more times than you really should have just to complete the level. I mean seriously, couldn't they have just added a shortcut door after you complete it? It's really not that hard or long to go through, it's just a pain in the ass.
That title, your sex tape.
The slow rubber boots don't help much either. But on the bright side, when you age a few years and finally get through that maze, you get to transform into a mean crocodile and mess some shit up. And mess shit up, you most certainly do. From crushing Mr. Vile's dreams to warrioring the unfortunate baddies that get in your way, the maze just seems much more worth it. Cauldron Keep. I wanted to include this as part of the Isle Hags, because if you follow Hag 1's Digger tracks, it very well could have been. But because of its own warp pads, Jiggy Wiggy puzzle, View Total's menu page, and a lack of a jam jar silo, it just has to be its own world. And it's pretty fun infiltrating this beast. From hitting the various intricate switches, to showing Klungo some more vitamin pain, and top it all off with an entertaining quiz to wrap up the story, I just can't complain that it's a level on its own. Glitter Glaze Glacier. The Glacier is a fun, wide-open map that is hard to get lost in, which had a lot of promise to be one of my favorites, having some cool heat-based puzzles, musical, colorful ice stalagmites, and even some friendly snowmen who just wanted their hats back. The Glitter Glaze had a very freeze-easy feel to it. That is until I expanded it and got some 2D maze BS. Anytime the camera is locked in place, it just irritates me. It's a shame, Glitter Glaze. Could have been higher. At the beginning of Nuts and Bolts, I was sickened at how things were turning out. Log was a stupid, annoying character, continuously bashing the franchise I loved, gloating about how good he was when he really had no backing points for it. And Showdown Town looked cramped and full of supporting characters who didn't really do much but get in the way. But then I started to unlock certain parts for my vehicles, and quickly began to expand the world. The different puzzles and obstacles combined with the similar musical tones of Jinjo Village and Cloud Cuckoo Land, and it wasn't very long before I started to feel at home in Showdown Town. In the early stages of Banjo Tooie, you are unlocking different areas, worlds, and even meeting new memorable characters to help you aid your journey. Then you descend down a long rope into a dark hole. Don't let the name fool you. There's nothing glittery about the Glitter Gulch mine, except for a few piles of ore that are spread throughout the map. Most of it is gloomy and dull. But in the Gulch's defense, it is a mineshaft, and it's not supposed to be glamorous. It's one of those levels that I'm never really looking forward to, yet it still manages to be quite the fun experience once you start doing the things like defusing dynamite, starting up electrical generators to find your way, crushing jiggy boulders to get some serious loot, restoring the most epic of trains, even going ham on the handcar. Oh, Canary Mary. Let's just leave it at that. Alright, what's next? Number 25. I'm so sorry. Remember what I said at number 31? That applies to Gobby's Valley. It's not a bad level at all. It's actually quite fun. It's smaller, but it's not too cramped. And it has loads of different puzzles, secrets, and even the music is pretty cool, with a good overall atmosphere. But I think I just spent too much time in this place. Too many times. Every time I go to play it, I'm just not really looking forward to it. I want to get through this place as fast as I possibly can. Probably because I know what comes after this level. At least Gobby's Valley is quick to speed through. Bonus points, I guess. The first time you play through a game, you have to become familiar with the controls, objective, and map overlay, and being unpracticed and lost can result in quite the negative experience. However, this is handled quite nicely in Yooka Laylee, where once you've collected enough pages, each world can be expanded upon. This makes first worlds like Tribal Stack Tropics much less overwhelming, without sacrificing content and fun. Returning back to the tropics with more experience, better moves, and beefier health and energy is like playing a football team that is made up entirely of elementary kids. They don't stand a chance. I don't know if it's being able to fly around wherever you want, or if going invisible is far too overpowered for the first world, but I don't care. I'm here to send Capital B a message. I just really wish they used Nimbo's season changing gimmick for a little bit more puzzles. Maybe it's just me, but they missed out on a really great trick there. And so did we.